Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I will be doing a challenge and this specific challenge is the Make No Mistakes challenge. I've speeded the build up because the build turned out to be something entirely different than what I originally planned. I'd originally planned a tiny, or not tiny, but at least quite a bit smaller home for a mom and a daughter. And it turned out to, well, you'll see, something quite different than that. Because around here, I started to have a look at the roofings, and I was like, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of my home in London. And before you believe that I live in London, I don't. I'm from Norway and I live in Norway. But I was at a study abroad program in London last fall. So when I was there, I was renting a tiny room at this huge mansion of a house. And I love it to pieces. So that's what I'm recreating. And yeah, it's not your regular hostel or student housing, by no means. This is a luxury home in the style of the insanely rich and famous. To be perfectly honest, I have no idea how the organization that I was renting with, how they managed to maintain the house, but they do. And if you're from Norway, you should definitely stay there. If you're going to London, if you're going to London on holiday, or if you're going there to study, you can still stay there, and it's beautiful, and the people there are perfectly nice. So yeah, you should definitely go check it out. It is, if you're known in the area in London, you will probably recognize the kind of houses these are. But they are in the Holland Park area, and there are quite a lot of houses that are pretty much exteriorly identical to this one. And here's my first real mess up, the window there. But since this is the Make No Mistake, I'm not allowed to fix it, so I just have to stay there. Sorry. These houses are extremely extravagant, so they have a lot of decor on the outside. So that's why I'm putting on these, what really is flower pots, but I thought that the style were in line with like the rest of the build. So it kind of looks like just decorations. That's what they're supposed to look like anyway. And here I kind of messed up because I really wanted it to go inwards as well and like end in the roof. But that was not possible to do, apparently, because the roof is there. So yeah, you know, the bits and the bobs. So here I'm just generally lucky that I'm placing these fairly right, and then I realized that I messed up again. But I can't fix that either, so you know. And since this is an extravagant build, I needed even more. And if you wondered why that cut so weirdly, it's because I started filming again another day. Sorry, not another day. I just had to go into live mode because I was out of money. So now I got the live mode with the people being on the lot. So you will see the toddler strolling around inside, or not strolling around, but you see the lady outside here now. If you've seen my video Toddler to Adult, she is the adult version. The toddler version is also at the lot, but she's indoors. So you'll probably see her later on. So yeah, I wish you could just put these kind of things at the roofs. I see that there are roof trimmings now, but you know, not good, not good. Okay, so what I was checking with that previous color for the exterior of the house was that the pattern was really good, the corner patterns. However, in like the real life buildings of this, it is in white, and therefore it would be a bit wrong to do them with the darker trimmings, so I did not. And also, I would really, really, really wish, if anyone in the Sims creators are seeing this video by any chance, please can you make the pillars move? Like, can you make them movable? Because I want to be able to move them by clicking in Alt as any other things. I don't see why they have to be centered on the squares, because that doesn't make any sense at all. So by now I'm just making a lot of decoration on the house, because they are extravagant and they're supposed to be. And these things that I put on here right now are really tiny balconies or stuff like that. And also the stairs are not like this at all, and the rooms are not like this at all in the houses. So if you're going to visit the YWCA in Holland Park, which is where I was staying, then this is definitely not the room placement at all. But I like the room placement like this. I'm pretending that it's an end section, and that on the other side there would be another house. These houses actually are not attached, but yeah. So here you can see the toddler, yeah. And here you can also see my second mess up, because since I placed the section that goes outwards in an almost circular shape, after I put the square on, then there's a wall between there, and I'm not allowed to remove that. So in a normal build I would definitely remove those. In a normal build I would probably also make doors go out on the tiny balconies up here, but the buildings that are like this in real life don't have that. They have windows that go out to the balconies, because I don't think they're ever really supposed to be used as balconies. So now I'm starting at the top floor. I am speculating in how to get more light, because I can't really see anything of what I'm doing, which is why I took the counters outside to check the colors. So I'm trying to sneak in some light from the dining table, but that didn't quite work. So I just realized that, well, screw this. I'm just gonna do it in the dark. It's gonna be fine. I'm quite sure the build will turn out fine. I personally feel like it did. I feel like it turned into a beautiful little house, or, well, you know, not that little, but in like the kind of rooms you get, it's actually quite little, because it's only a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. And yeah, you can see me struggling a little bit with wall cabinets here. I'm just ending up with one of the plain ones, I think, yes. And then I'm fixing the overlay by putting in a bucket or a trash can, really, but yeah. So I'm struggling also a little bit with the ventilation in the kitchen, but it turns out fine. It's a lot of CC, I'm noticing. And I could also hide that one there, so that's nice. But there's a lot of CC in my builds in general because I really don't like to build anything in The Sims without CC because I feel like the CC makes it alive. Because a lot of the Maxis content isn't super realistic looking. Both when it comes to Sims and when it comes to like chairs or cabinets or, you know, furniture in general. And of course, the Sims cannot produce the amount that CC creators can create because CC creators are extremely many people and a lot of them are highly skilled at what they do. And of course, Maxis is super skilled at what they do too. I'm not saying they're not because they really are. There's a lot of good non-CC furniture and clothing. The only thing that I always use CC for is here because I don't like the clay version of here's. So that's why I want them to look a little bit more realistic. And I also love that backsplash on the kitchen. I would definitely have that. This whole room actually turned out really good. It's quite dark. It's grey walls and black cabinets and grey floorings with quite steadily dark features to it, but I like it. It's very modern at the same time as it's very traditional, so I like it. This is the kind of room that I enjoy building. Another thing that really bugs me with The Sims is that you can't put chandeliers or lighting in general over the staircase, which means that you have to have flooring underneath the lamps, and to me that is just hilarious. It is so hilarious. I don't understand why that is. But okay. So here I was debating whether to do the corner piece or the follow the wall piece. I ended up with the corner piece since I was like, yeah, I just have to deal with the fact that I made the mistake of putting the wall where it was. But I'm also trying to like reduce the amount that has an impact on the room by putting in a window and a door into the locked off area. I'm not doing that in any other rooms. And as I look back, I'm kind of regretting it because it actually turned out quite pretty, at least from the outside. Inside it looks a bit shady, but you know. And yeah, the style I'm going for in this house is generally quite a expensive style because these houses cost so much money. There was one house that was for sale in the street that I was living in, and it was multiple millions of Norwegian kroners. I think it was closer to actually it was around 50 million maybe pounds, something like that. I think it was around 50 million pounds. It is, at least, I'm not sure if that's the right price, but anyway, they cost a lot of money, and that was a complete a complete fixer-upper, so you would have to do a ton of work. But yeah, it definitely wasn't as modern as this, to put it that way. But yeah, the interior of this house is completely off regarding those houses, but exterior-wise, it is quite a look-alike, if nothing else. So yeah, I also would have fixed those succulents in the corner there if it wasn't a make no mistake challenge, because they're completely out of line and I hate it, but you know, you gotta make the best out of it when you're doing a build. And this build is quite huge for a make no mistake challenge, and I actually filmed it in 3 goes. So I got three sessions where I filmed. So yeah, plus the 4th one with the voiceover after editing it. So it is quite a big build and it takes quite a long time to build it, but one of the reasons it takes quite a while is because I was looking at quite a lot of pictures and I wanted a very specific style, so I used a whole lot of time searching through content. You are not seeing all the searching that I did. I've edited out a whole lot of me strolling through the different kinds of objects to place and what couch to choose. Like now it looks like I just went right in and just chose that couch. I did not. I tried like 7 couches or so before I ended up with that one. But it all turned out quite good. I'm actually quite happy with the way this house look. It got this huge toddler room here that is very, very, very obviously for this little girl. But I guess you can use it for a guest room. If you put in an extra door under the staircase, you can use it as a double bedroom. But then you would have to like have the bed in the middle and then let your Sims walk around the bed, like one entrance for each side of the bed pretty much. But this is a room that is very long, so it doesn't feel as big as it probably is because it's so long. So you can't just fill it with stuff. Or you can, of course, fill it with a lot of stuff, but, you know, not that much as if it was a square room. Sorry. I am also just imagining that this girl loves cats. I've not put any, like, pet stuff into this house, but I feel like she loved cats, and if I were to play with them, I would definitely give her a cat, and probably have like a tiny bed for the cat up against the wall there, some feeding trays for the cat out in the living area here, maybe under the stairs. But there's room for it if you want to use this build to play with. I would recommend though to fix the make no mistakes that I made. Like that man that I put in there, the figure. He is currently floating. But I was thinking, like, down here at the bathroom, I thought that the mistake with the windows actually wasn't so bad, because who really wants to be in the shower with that many windows anyway? And it gives me the option to put a sink area here with mirrors and the whole shebang. But you can see I'm going for the luxurious look, like gold and marble, and I'm trying to mix up my plants a little bit because I realized that I use a lot of the same plants in all of my builds. So I'm trying to mix them up a little bit. And here comes the still photos, and that would be all for this video, you guys. So if you liked it, feel free to leave a comment, like the video, or subscribe to the channel. Preferably you can do all of the above. And I will see you again in another video. Bye!